Got the supervisor watching as always. Hmm. I was talking to a buddy the other day that, and it just got me thinking that I had never checked the power consumption of the oxygen machines here. Of course, I had to grab a fucking splitter that's got a light on it, which makes it hard to see. But so I'm in the volt amp setting at the moment. I noticed if the power factor is not perfect, that the volt amp and the watt will actually be different, and the volt amp will actually be the one that is accurate. Um, but got to talking to a buddy about the power consumption of these things, and it reminded me that I had never checked what these are running. And so I got a new cylinder on here, or a empty cylinder on here, and going to start up both of these and see what the power consumption is. Two, though, I just pulled a 250 cubic foot off of here, and I noticed that time to fill that cylinder was the longest that it has been so far. Like, okay, you can see like that one there wasn't hardly any time, and then some of the, like, that one there, I only filled that one halfway. I only filled that one halfway too. But oh, that was a puppy fart. um but yeah, that was the longest time, and I noticed the times were starting to creep up a little bit. I mean, there's a 62 hour there, but you know, I don't know how long I don't know how long the compressor especially is going to last filling to 2000 psi. That's why I'm keeping the log of it. But at the same time too, the starting tank pressure will have an effect on how long it takes to fill. And that last cylinder still had some pressure in it. You can hear this one here. Maybe you can hear it, maybe you can't, but I got the valve open here, and so there is effectively 0 psi in there. And I'll start both of these machines up, and once the compressor actually gets to filling, because it'll when you first turn it on, it won't actually start the compressor turning for the first couple minutes, but you can see just with the concentrator going, we're at, call it an average of 425 watts. And I would imagine that the compressor will take more power at a higher pressure than it will at a lower pressure. So like I said, I'll check it at 0 psi and then check it near as I can to 2000 psi. Alright, so the compressor's been running, and I know the audio just sucks with both of these machines going, but the filling light is on. Compressor's only been running for about 15 minutes or something like that, so there's maybe 5 psi or something in the tank, essentially 0, and certainly it reads 0 on the gauge. And the watts go up and down with the cycling of the condenser or concentrator, and so I don't know, just for round numbers sake, call that an average of 500. And especially because the cylinder is so small, this is only 125 cubic foot. I don't know that I'll be able to, get back and check it right at 2000 psi, but I'll try to be up in there somewhere on the high end of the scale, and we'll see what it pulls for wattage then. Oh, I was gonna check what the like I was saying, there's, see how it changes drastically, but it's because we don't have a perfect power factor. If you try this on a if you go in between the watts and the volt amps on something like a incandescent light or a block, like an engine block heater or something that is just a resistive load, it'll have a perfect power factor, and then the watts and volt amp will be identical. If you get something like an old LED light that has a dog shit power factor, then the watts and volt amp will be very, very different. I don't know why that is. Hopefully somebody who knows could, mention in the comments, or, post a link to an article or video explaining that or whatever. But that's just what I've noticed, is that the volt amps is what's actually accurate when you don't have a perfect power factor. Alright, so the timing on that worked out really good. We're just over 2,000 psi right now, and funny enough, it didn't actually change the wattage very much. So yeah, I had actually expected the wattage to come up a little bit more as the cylinder got to full pressure there, but evidently not. And I got to thinking about it on the time to fill the K tanks here. While this last one here did take longer than any of the others, that was actually a different cylinder, and so it's entirely possible that the that cylinder is just a little bit larger, like has a little bit larger internal volume than the other ones that I was filling here. So I guess after I fill that one a couple times, we'll see if that remains consistent.